To begin, I do what I call a mood coat of Blood Red Sky by Two Thin Coats. Now, Blood Red Sky is part of Two Thin Coats' Dark Arts paint set, which unlike other Two Thin Coats does not have a paint conversion chart on their website. I would say any dark desaturated red would work. This Sniper Priest is one of Trench Crusade's brand new plastics produced by Archon Studios. It is one of 4 potential builds, and the set allows you to build 2 miniatures, such as this one holding the rifle. There's an option for a heavy machine gun as well as a grenade launcher, and those all come in the box. There are also many different head options. It is a cool kit, definitely check it out. You'll notice this odd burgundy color on the miniature. I painted that first and decided against it, so you can just ignore it. To begin the miniature, we're going to use Dark Prussian Blue by Vallejo Model. It appears to be a pretty intense blue, but as it dries, it definitely kind of dies down in color. When you're painting, you want to make sure you don't cover your crevices completely so you have that dark, moody red color showing through. And when I'm done, I go in with a second coat, and we want to make sure our paint is very thin as we paint, so that way the color isn't too intense and doesn't go on too hard. Having the paint thin also lets you blend in with that mood color very easily, which makes your model look very nice. If all the parts of your model have that mood color sort of in the depths, it really helps tie everything together. Following that Dark Prussian Blue, we're going to introduce some Ahriman Blue into it at about a 50-50 ratio. Make sure your paint is thin once again and slowly add it so it blends nicely. Additionally, I'm making sure that my brush strokes all go one way, and that'll start to create a texture for this kind of woolen clothing that this man is wearing. Next, we're going to take pure Ahriman Blue, and we're just going to continue highlighting. Once again, do make sure that paint is thin. You don't want this Ahriman Blue too strong, or else it'll make it look too saturated. And if you've watched my previous Trench Crusade videos, we know that saturation is the antithesis of grimdark, and we want to make sure that our model is dark. And as I get brighter, you can really start to see those brush strokes make a texture in the cloak. Next up, we're going to continue highlighting, and that's going to be with Prussian Blue, also by Vallejo Model. Now, you won't see much of a difference here, but it will help brighten it up a little bit without increasing the vividness. I would like to note that I've stopped highlighting the back with the exception of the very bottom of the cloak, and that's because the sunlight isn't hitting the back, so it doesn't need all of this color and brightness. For our next step, we're going to take that Prussian Blue, and we're going to add a little bit of Divination White by Two Thin Coats. Now, this is once again one of those dark arts colors, but this is just an eggshell white. You can use any eggshell white in here. This will be about a 90-10 in favor of Prussian Blue mixture. So very, very little of that brightness is added. Finally, we're going to add a little bit more of that Divination White into our Prussian Blue and continue highlighting. During this highlight step, I'm only going to hit the bottom of the cloak as well as the kind of top area of the cloak and any little ragged pieces and holes. Having the bottoms highlighted will define the edges, while having the top area highlighted will bring your eye's attention towards the middle of the body, which is where you want the attention to be. I've returned the chest to that Blood Red Sky, although it's a little bit more saturated than I'd like. Oh well, I messed up. I'm going to mix Flare Red into that Blood Red Sky and begin to paint that as our base coat. Once again, leaving that mood color in those recesses. Following that, we'll paint with pure Flare Red. And once again, I want to stress the importance of having your paint thin. If your paint is thin, it will dry less intense than if you had thicker paint where you're just slathering a bunch of pigment onto your model. The lack of intensity will really help blend it in with your mood color and keep that desaturated look that we want. Next, we're going to take Diablo Red by Two Thin Coats and mix it in with our Flare Red. And Diablo Red is a pretty vivid orangey color, so we only want to add a small amount because we don't want to saturate the color too much. And just remember to keep practice with what we've been doing. Thin paint, brush strokes all going the same way. And as we're highlighting, we want to make sure we're hitting the top and the bottom just like we did down here. And that'll really help show where the light is coming from. Finally, for the red, we're going to take some of that divination white and mix it into our previous mixture. This does make it quite bright, so when we're highlighting, we want to make sure we're being very carefully, very soft, and very intent on where we're putting those highlights. Because it's so bright, if we just overdo it, we're going to blow out the entire color that we just worked for. But we definitely want to have those bright points as visual interests for our eyes to catch hold of. I actually added a little bit more divination white into the mixture and did some tiny additional highlights. These highlights will only be areas where the sun would be directly hitting or catching, like on some of those holes in the cloak. And because I added that final highlight to the red and I thought it was a little bit too much brighter compared to the blue, I added a little bit more divination white into my previous blue mixture and just did a tiny bit more highlighting there. And it's okay and important to spend time balancing colors as you paint. To start that skin, I'm going to take some Thin Down Wine Red by AK 3rd Generation, and we're just going to start to splotch it onto the skin. This man is dirty and unhealthy, and I don't want his skin to be nice and smooth. And this wine red is going to do a great job undercoating our skin tone and giving him a little bit of warmth in his skin. We're then going to take Mask Flesh by Two Thin Coats, another dark arts color, but I do find this one difficult to replace. I'm sure there's something good out there, you'll just have to discover it, I'm sorry. And just like with that wine red, we're going to kind of stipple it on, splotch it on, or whatever, and that'll give it that kind of texture that we want. Next, we'll mix in a little bit of Reaper's Fair Skin into that Mask Flesh and we'll begin highlighting. We are already at that point where we want to be careful with how much we highlight, so don't add a whole lot. Hit the areas that make sense with those highlights, such as the knuckles, the tip of the nose, the area of the forehead where that sun is going to hit. If you want the skin tone brighter, by all means, highlight a little bit more. Don't be afraid of making your models yours and doing what you want to do with them. When we're done with that, we're going to glaze some wine red in there, and you can always test the consistency of your glaze by checking it on your thumb. So you want to make sure that it's mostly transparent. This glaze will establish some of the warmth again, as well as blend in some of the skin tones back to that darker color. Now we're going to paint some of the accessories. For this rope, we're going to use Manticore Ochre by Two Thin Coats, and we're just going to follow along the ridges of the mini. No need to overpaint here, 2 coats will get you exactly what you need for this rope to be completed. For the non-metallic metal of the machine gun, we're going to take Cold Corpse Blue by Two Thin Coats and do a general base coat, but once again, make sure you leave some of that mood color in the crevices. Next, we'll take Two Thin Coats Wolf Gray and begin our highlighting for the non-metallic metal, and because it is NMM, we want to make sure we're not highlighting a whole lot. The contrast is going to be very important in establishing the light to make it look like a piece of metal. So be reserved with how much you're highlighting and only highlight the areas where the sunlight would be hitting. Following that, we'll highlight with Gravestone Blue by Two Thin Coats. And once again, we're just going to refine and paint less and highlight less as we move on. You can also create some texture with some stippling and small little slice marks in the armor or the gun. But overall, you want very little highlighting so that contrast can really sell the look. Next, we'll mix in Ice Yellow by AK 3rd Gen into our Gravestone Blue and perform some final highlights with that. This should only hit some of the raised surfaces as well as the corners and small areas where you want that sunlight to be hitting. And to finish it off, we'll take some Mournfang Brown by Warhammer Color, and we will glaze that in to look like a slight rust effect. You can add some less thinned glazing in to make that rust a little bit more potent, but I didn't and I don't think you need to, but if you want to, feel free. And there, the Sniper Priest is all completed, and I hope this guide really showed you how to paint some kind of desaturated blue and red, where you can apply it to your own color schemes. I know there's not a 360-degree camera, which kind of sucks, but I've never really been happy with my 360s, so they'll come back in the future when I learn how to do it better. But enjoy this nice little picture with the allies of the Sniper Priest next to him, and it kind of shows you how that mood painting that I'm doing really draws everything together. If you like this video, leave a comment, like it, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one.